Who is ready to make some science?
Welcome to Free Battle Fridays. I'm your host, DeoGenZ, coming at you with perfect capture 3DS quality here. That's right, I figured out how to stream my 3DS over the internet onto my computer so I could bring you Free Battle Fridays in the finest form. So now we have full quality captures, no more holding up my iPod or camcorder with the right lighting and the right darkness and the right setting on the DS and just the right angle to try and get some footage that ultimately, let's be honest, is pretty crap quality. No more of that, friends. Now we have good quality streaming, and these are the types of videos you can expect from now on, as well as a new special series coming this Sunday, so tune in for that. But I've spoken enough about just the quality issues here. Let's talk about the content and this battle between me and Alex. This chick is using a ton of Ubers. Between her Cresselia, Rayquaza, now a Genesect, and you're going to see what it has, what's in store for me next. But so far, so good. My team seems to be doing great. I have some pretty thick Pokemon up for this 3 versus 3 battle. Umbreon is especially and physically defensive. My Chansey there in the center, since it's the center poke takes the most amount of damage, has the potential to, since everybody can hit it being in the center. I want it to be the most bulky, but it's only bulky in special defense. So if you're looking to defeat a Chansey real fast, just hit it with a physical fighting type move and it will faint, unfortunately for me. But very fortunately for me, I analyzed my opponent well before getting into this battle and made sure Chansey was in the center, because as you can see, there's a lot of Pokemon on the field right now using special attacks. So that's not really going to phase Chansey all too much, which is great. And lucky for me, I don't know why Cresselia had a skill swap, because I guess it was to take away my natural cure. This way status would actually afflict my Chansey, because, you know, I don't know why though. I feel like this person did the skill swap and didn't know about my ability really, because if they knew about it, they should have swapped out their Cresselia, because the cool thing about Natural Cure is that when you switch out your Pokemon, if it has a status effect, it will be healed. So that's a free status heal for the Cresselia, and it was burned and didn't have any sort of recovery moves. It's just weird. It seems like Alex had a lot of Ubers here. You see we're facing Genesect, Darkrai, and Cresselia. Just a complete nightmare team. And once I saw Darkrai, that's what I was hinting to earlier in the video, I was really crapping my pants here, because I've never really faced a Darkrai on a 3 versus 3 battle. 3 versus 3 in ORAS is super fun. I actually can't recommend it enough. I read an article in Smogan that recommended it to me, saying everybody should do way more double battles and triple battles, and I was like, you know what, you're right, you absolutely should, because in ORAS, if you do battle spots, free singles, you only get to take in 3 Pokemon. If you do triples though, you get to take in your full team. So although your team's going to work differently, obviously, you know, than if you were doing a 1 versus 1 matchup, it's still a way for you to take your whole team into battle with just random opponents, and it's a cool way to see how your team synergizes with itself. So you can see how long it's taken my opponent finally to remove my Chansey, and that's an example of just a tremendous wall. And now I've swapped out my main defense in the center for this 3 versus 3 match for my Volcanon Typhlosion. When that thing goes off, being in the center position, another benefit is you can also hit all 3 Pokemon. And with the move Eruption, that's the type of move, similar to Surf, but just for fire, that will hit the entire field. And so, thankfully, you know, my Steelix wasn't put to sleep. I think if it fell asleep with the rest of my Pokemon, this battle might have gone very differently. That's why I wanted to post this, because it was a very clutch match. But, you know, it all worked out in the end with Sleep being relinquished on my Typhlosion and him being allowed to use Eruption, and the match was over. So just because you use a bunch of Ubers does not mean you will win. Keep that in mind, friends, and try out the 3 versus 3 matches. I've been DeoGenZ, coming at you with a Free Battle Friday. Hey, if you like this content, consider supporting me on Patreon, where I do shiny giveaways and tournaments for all my patrons. I'll see you in the future.